Good evening and welcome to the City of Battle Creek, Michigan. It's the Battle Creek City Commission meeting for August 9th, 2022. It is 7 o'clock and we're ready to begin our meeting this evening. We will stand for a moment of silence and then I would like to ask Commissioner Lynn Gray to lead us in the pledge after our moment of silence for invocation. Please stand for a moment of silence. Commissioner Lynn Gray.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Next item on our agenda is roll call. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Commissioner Blood?
Present.
Commissioner Gray?
Present.
Commissioner Lance is absent. Commissioner Herring?
Present.
Commissioner Morris?
Present.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Present.
Commissioner Sophia?
Here.
Commissioner Zenda Wilson?
Present.
And Mayor Banky.
Here.
Thank you.
And as the clerk did say, Commissioner Lance is not able to be with us in attendance tonight. I do not believe we have any proclamations or awards. So next item on our agenda is there a presentation? Okay, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, Chair noting any added or deleted resolutions?
There were none.
Thank you very much. Petition, communications, and reports?
There were none.
Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is our first public hearing. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
This public hearing is for the purpose of receiving public comment on an application for an obsolete property rehabilitation exemption certificate on behalf of Bijou Lofts LLC for the property located at 17 West Michigan Avenue, Battle Creek, Michigan, in obsolete property rehabilitation district number 10.
I'll declare the public hearing open. Martin, would you like to speak first?
Yes. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for giving me the chance to present the project tonight. Would you give me the first slide, please? Or then one more. So that's the building at 17 Michigan Avenue. It's right next to the Milton building. It's a roughly 55,000 square feet.
Excuse me, can you speak into the mic, please?
Oh, yeah,
Because
for
we
sure.
can't hear you.
Is it better now? Okay, sorry. So it's the building at 17 Michigan Avenue. It's roughly a 55,000 square feet building. And we would like to turn it into a mixed-use building, 31 residential units and, is it?
Mayor, can we have the volume turned up?
Yeah. Let me get the hand.
Okay.
It takes a second. Can you tap on the top? There you go.
Okay, cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we would like to closer. Okay. So is that okay? Thank you. I'm sorry. So we are intending to build 31 market rate units, 1 bedrooms and studios, roughly between 750 square feet and 600 square feet. And we intend to build like a commercial place on the first floor. And the next slide, please. This is an example from a building we built in Detroit. The units would be in an open loft style. And as mentioned, it would be 1 bedrooms and studios with an open floor plan. The features would be stainless steel appliances, hardwood floors, and big modern windows. And the next slide, please.
Martin, we're still going to have you speak up a little bit. I want to make sure the commission hears you.
Okay, sorry. So on the first floor, we have then a commercial space, roughly 10,000 square feet. Ideally, we would like to reduce that area and have more residential units on the first floor as well to reduce the commercial space, which is hard to lease. And there's a couple of examples from other cities like Jackson or Detroit. And then the next slide, please. That's a typical floor plan we envision. So as mentioned on the first floor, we would have the commercial area towards Michigan Avenue. And then in the back of the building, we could have residential units. On the second, third, and fourth floor, we would create another 29 residential units, and they would be oriented towards the towards the front end, the side where we would have to include new windows, and then the back end. Next slide, please. And on the back end, the building has a setback, roughly half of the building, and we could build private patio spaces and a public patio space there for the tenants. Next slide. And at the moment, the building has the green facade, which is an Art Deco facade from the 1940s. And we were looking at other buildings in other cities that have colored Art Deco facades, like this light blue one. And if you would go to the next slide, please. That's a building in Los Angeles we found, which is in a similar color. And the sketch here on the right side could, that's an idea how this facade could be rebuilt to appreciate the Art Deco, but be a little more expressive in the design. And next slide.
That was the last one.
That was the last one? Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. Okay, thanks, sorry. Yeah, thank you for giving me the time today.
Okay, Martin, I'm going to ask the commission if they have any questions of you at this time. Any questions of Martin? Thank you very much, Martin. Oh, Commissioner Blood.
So Martin, what interests you about bringing this design and build to Battle Creek?
Sorry, what interests me to bring this design?
Well, what interests you about bringing this to Battle Creek? So this type of housing here.
Oh, we did multifamily in downtown Detroit, close to the downtown of Detroit, and we saw that there is a need for adaptive reuse in downtowns all over southeast Michigan. And we had bought derelict buildings in Detroit that have been functionally obsolete, like former office buildings, former department stores, things of that nature, and then turned them into residential as there is a need or a demand for urban living in the urban centers of southeast Michigan.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Are there any other questions? Yes, Vice Mayor Reynolds.
Thanks, Mayor. So other than Detroit, do you have any other areas that you've worked where you've set up this type of housing?
We have a project in Jackson at the moment, which is still in the making. We're a little further in Jackson. We are about to get our loan done, but it's still on the way. The most projects we have finished are in Detroit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Wilson.
Hi, Martin. Could you
Hi.
tell us a little bit about the demand for housing at this level and what you've learned through the studies?
So BCU, Battle Creek Unlimited, they have showed us multiple housing studies that were very interesting, but our biggest study is the Milton next door. It's a 90-unit apartment building, which rented in less than 60 days during the pandemic, which was, for us, that was the case. We really needed to see that there's a demand for housing in downtown.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions by the Commission? Commissioner Morris?
Could you speak to possible price points for living in these units?
Yeah, so we are thinking about $1.80 to $2 per square foot, depending on the price of construction, which is fluctuating at the moment. The Milton is at roughly $2.11, so we would be at $1.80 to $2 per square foot, roughly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Martin, what does that equate to for?
Oh, yeah, that for a studio space, if it has like 500 square feet, that would be in the $1,000 area, and for a one bedroom, it would be $1,200 to $1,250.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to ask for the mic back.
All right, thank you.
And do we have anyone else who'd like to? Robert Corder from Battle Creek Unlimited.
All right. I promise to speak a little bit louder than my German friend. So, good evening, Commissioners, Mr. Mayor. My name is Robert Corder. I am from Battle Creek Unlimited. I will be speaking tonight in support of Resolution 458, the Oprah application for 17 West Michigan for Detroit Rock Solid. The four-story building at 17 West Michigan Avenue is among the oldest in downtown. The original structure was built in 1869 as the Hamblin Opera House. In the early 1900s, it was converted to a theater and later refurbished into a department store. The property has been vacant for the last 20 years. BCU acquired the property from the Calhoun County Land Bank in 2019. The building has been in steadily decline for more than 20 years and is today functionally obsolete. It is in desperate need of a complete renovation. All of the building's mechanical systems need to be replaced, as well as the elevators and exterior windows. The building will require a new roof. There was also a fire on the top floor at one time, which left the exposed beams scorched. Detroit Rock Solid and Martin Hers are proposing to convert the property to a mixed-use building with 30-plus residential units and retail space on the ground floor. The renovated property would have a mix of one-bedroom and studio units ranging from 600 to 750 square feet. The units would be done in a loft style with open floor plans, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and a washer-dryer in each unit. Lease rates are expected to range from approximately $960 a month to $1,200 per month. In total, Detroit Rock Solid expects to invest more than $5.9 million in the project. Detroit Rock Solid plans to prepare approximately 6,000 square feet on the ground floor for restaurant or retail use. We've already had several conversations with prospective users interested in Battle Creek, and I'm confident that we'll be able to find a first-rate tenant for the ground floor. Once done, the building, dubbed the Bijou Lofts, will be an ideal complement to other projects underway in downtown, including the Milton and the forthcoming Doubletree Hotel. The project is expected to create 50 construction jobs and will house 30 to 40 new residents in downtown. With an estimated annual household income of $65,000, this would generate as much as $20,000 in new income tax for the city of Battle Creek. BCU has already introduced Detroit Rock Solid to the MEDC, which can provide support under its community revitalization program. Once the OPRA is approved, the developer will be able to complete their application to the MEDC and finalize project financing. BCU has a letter of intent to sell the property to Detroit Rock Solid once financing is finalized. Housing is perhaps the most pressing issue facing our community today. This project will return a historic yet dilapidated building to productive use, while also providing new housing opportunities in downtown. It will significantly add to the economic revitalization efforts currently underway. Given the building's age and condition, a tax abatement is necessary in order to make the project financially viable, especially in light of rising costs and supply chain disruptions. We believe that Mr. Hers and Detroit Rock Solid have the experience and resources to bring this project to fruition. Thank you.
Any questions of Robert Corder from BCU? Vice Mayor Reynolds.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Robert, for the presentation. I must ask, though, are we looking at local people to help in the construction of this?
Yes, ma'am. We've had that discussion with Martin and his team. They will be relying on local contractors. And what we'll do is probably the same thing we've done for other projects out in the industrial park, which is we'll put the project details on the BCU website, and then anybody is able to go see RFPs and project details as they come about.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Robert. I am curious, I know that when the Milton was being refurbished, it caused quite a disruption downtown. Can you talk about what we can expect by way of this if it's all approved? And then second, if everything is approved and the funding is received, how long does it take to complete the project? Do you know?
So I'm going to maybe bring Martin up here who will help me answer that. But so the first thing, this building has an entrance on the front and the back. So we believe we can do most of the construction out of the rear of the building with minimal impact to the front. There will be significant facade. You recall the building has a teal green facade. That will have to be updated, so there will be work on the front. So there will be some scaffolding and things on front. However, unlike the Milton, you're not going to see the projects that are going to necessitate shutting down Michigan Avenue in the same way. Recall that that project had significant roof work and necessitated cranes to be brought in. If there needs to be cranes, we can run them off of the back side of the building, so I think we'll be okay there. In terms of timeline, Martin?
I think roughly 18 months after the financing is complete.
Right. So from the start, 18 months.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commission comments, questions? Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Are there any other public comments at this period of time? Yes. Noel King.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Noel King. I'm a resident here in Battle Creek. When you do Oprahs, a lot of times one of the things is that you hope that you've done the right thing. When I found out about the possibility of this, I did my own research. I even took a trip to Detroit to where the Bethune project is, looked at it, had some conversations with Martin. And just to kind of give you a background on myself, I have done rehabs in both Detroit and in Flint. I wrote the alternative energy analysis for Cobo Hall. I built the first certified 5-star energy rated home in Detroit, as well as I put in the geothermal field in the new Martin Luther King High School. So I've been around developers and had an interaction with them. So I think I got a little bit of understanding of how they operate. And I found that Martin and his team were genuine. I looked at the projects that they have completed, and I think that as a city who has the kind of need for housing that we have, is that this will be a well-spent Oprah. You know, we won't lose out on this, and I think they'll do a good job, and I'm pretty certain that they're going to continue to do other projects here. And as we all know, we do need housing in our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Noel. Any other comments at this time? Yes.
Reese Atkins, 24 Popular. As I look at this Oprah and at this stuff going on, and the prices that they are looking at charging for these apartments, I look at our homeless who cannot afford it, our low-income people who cannot afford it, and I look at all these expensive apartments out that are here now, like the Hilton and stuff like that, that these homeless people are unable to afford. And I really look at, do we really need another building with housing in it that's over $1,000 or right around $1,000 to where our homeless population can't afford it, or even our low-income people cannot afford it? So I really would like to see a look at where our homeless and our low-income people can fit into projects like this, because from what I can see, they're being pushed aside, and these expensive places are being put in to people that, okay, we've got a lot of money, yeah, they can afford it, but what about these low-income people that can't afford it? Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other public comments at this time? Seeing none, we'll declare the public hearing closed. Next item on our agenda is public comment regarding consent agenda and resolutions not on the consent agenda. Please allow me to read this. If you'd like to make a public comment regarding the consent agenda and resolutions not on the consent agenda, please raise your hand and we will acknowledge you to come forward to the podium. You will have 3 minutes to make your comments. Please state your name and address before making your comment. Now, the reason why we ask you that in the event that we have to get back to you. All right, are there any public comments at this time? Seeing none, move on to the next item on our agenda, commission comment regarding meeting business. Is there any commission comment?
I move for the support of the consent agenda.
Commissioner Morris to support.
Been moved and supported to approve the consent agenda. Are there any questions by the commissioners at this time? Seeing none, would you please vote on the consent agenda? The consent agenda has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 458. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Bijou Lofts LLC is seeking to rehabilitate the obsolete property at 17 West Michigan Avenue. They have expressed interest in using available economic development tools to assist their efforts. One of those tools available in the city of Battle Creek, due to its status as a core city, is the Obsolete Property Rehabilitation Tax Abatement, where the property qualifies as obsolete property in an obsolete property rehabilitation district. With the approval of the Obsolete Rehabilitation Abatement, Bijou Lofts LLC will redevelop the building at 17 West Michigan Avenue. This resolution requests approval of an application for an obsolete property rehabilitation exemption certificate on behalf of Bijou Lofts LLC for the property located at 17 West Michigan Avenue, Battle Creek, Michigan, in Obsolete Property Rehabilitation District Number 10, and having an estimated cost of $5,900,000 for real property improvements.
I move for the support of Resolution 458.
Commissioner Morris supports.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 458. Are there any comments or questions or concerns by the commission at this time? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 458? Resolution 458 has been approved. Congratulations, Martin, and your company. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 459. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
In 2019, the Columbia Avenue Business Improvement District partnered with the Engineering Division to study possible stormwater treatment solutions along a section of Columbia Avenue from Capitol Avenue to La Vista Boulevard. The stormwater runoff from this area is generated by hard surfaces located on private property and public right-of-way and outlets into Gogwak Lake without any treatment. Initially, the funding for the project was planned to come from a stormwater utility, but the lack of necessary legislation at the state level has forced the project to use normal road funding revenue. Because the project benefits the state of Michigan and the city of Battle Creek, the proposed contract is submitted for consideration. The project will include the diversion of stormwater into 2 existing basins. This resolution seeks authorization for the city manager to sign contract number 22-5313 with the Michigan Department of Transportation for diversion of stormwater in the area of Columbia Avenue Business Improvement District.
I move for the support of Resolution 459.
Commissioner Morris to support.
Been moved and supported to approve Resolution 459. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns by the commission? Please vote on Resolution 459 then. Resolution 459 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 460. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
The Americans with Disability Act, ADA, was signed into law on July 26, 1990 by President George H.W. Bush. The ADA prohibits discrimination and ensures equal opportunity and access for persons with disabilities. Title II and Title III of the Americans with Disabilities Act provide that no entity shall discriminate against an individual with a disability in connection with the provision of transportation service. This resolution requests the establishment of a revised Battle Creek Transit ADA/complementary paratransit policy that does not discriminate against qualified individuals with disabilities on the basis of disability in its services, programs, or activities.
Vice Mayor Reynolds looks for the support of Resolution 460, please.
Commissioner Morris supports.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 460. Are there any comments, concerns, or questions by the commission? Commissioner Blood.
Yes, sir, thank you. I see that our transportation director is here. Is it okay, sir, if I ask her to come up?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, can you just give us a little bit of background on this one and how it came to play really quick?
Yeah, so the last time our ADA policy was updated was in 2019 when I took over as the director. And since then, we've added a new position, I think I've shared with you multiple times, of mobility manager. And so she's here with me today. Her name's Christy Gristini. And now that she's completed some additional training and continuing education, she will be replacing me as the ADA coordinator for the purpose of our ADA complementary paratransit policy.
Fantastic. And so also I wanted to ask just kind of 2 things to spotlight. BC Go feeds into a lot of this mobility, and that's just been extended a little bit. Is that correct?
Yes, it has.
Can you talk a little bit about that and how that impacts serving a community that falls under this this resolution?
Sure. I'll add one more thing. The other additional change was a result of our fare increase. So this revised the fare quoted in the policy was $2, revising that to $3. speaking to mobility and how BC Go falls under this, is we envision freeing up some space on our existing teletransit service, and I think something we hear from the public all the time is that they just can't get a ride. And so the service is full, and under ADA, individuals with disabilities who are certified with Battle Creek Transit receive priority service on our teletransit service, which then will free up some additional availability on our BC Go system.
Fantastic. So that's going to allow folks who maybe wouldn't qualify under this to have access to BC Go, which is booked out far in advance.
Yes, it'll allow us to allocate our resources better as we focus on providing ADA paratransit and then demand response instead of commingling the two together.
I appreciate you guys looking at that and how you can work to ensure everyone is getting as much service as possible here in the city. And you brought up the fare increase. How's that going since July?
It has been going very smoothly. We didn't run into any issues with the actual implementation of our fare increase on our technology, and we haven't seen an impact to our ridership. So that's been great.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Are there any other commission comments, questions, or clarifications? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 460? Resolution 460 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 461. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Commission previously approved the gateway signage on the Capitol Avenue Bridge with Resolution number 333 on March 15, 2022. As part of MDOT's I-94 project, a right turn lane will be added to the westbound Beckley Road at Capitol Avenue. In order to accomplish this installation, MDOT will need to relocate one of the 4 strain poles servicing the traffic signal at this intersection. It was decided to update the entire signal as part of the project. The cost split is 25/70 for 75 for MDOT and the City of Battle Creek respectively. This resolution seeks authorization for the city manager to sign contract number 22-5222 with the Michigan Department of Transportation for the I-94 project.
Vice Mayor Reynolds moves for support of Resolution 462.
Commissioner Morris supports.
461.
I'm sorry. Correction, that would be Resolution 461. I apologize.
Commissioner Morris to support.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 461. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns by the Commission? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 461? Resolution 461 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 462. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
The City of Battle Creek has received a special allocation of the Home Investment Partnership Program through the 2021 American Rescue Plan, Home-ARP, in the amount of $1,094,358 from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. The City Commission, in accordance with Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974, as amended, the Cranston-Gonzalez National Affordable Housing Act of 1990, and the 2021 American Rescue Plan, is required to adopt an allocation plan via an amendment to its 2021 Annual Action Plan, detailing how the city intends to distribute home ARP funds locally. The 4 eligible home ARP activities include development and support of affordable housing, tenant-based rental assistance, TBRA, provision of support services, and acquisition and development of non-congregate shelter units. This resolution requests the adoption of a substantial amendment to the 2021-22 Annual Action Plan and authorizing the city manager to execute required funding approval agreements with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Vice Mayor Reynolds moves for the support of Resolution 462.
Commissioner Morris supports.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 462. Are there any questions at this time? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 462? Resolution 462 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 463.
The Police Department requested quotes from August 10, 2021 through January 6, 2022 to select the Sig Sauer firearms vendor. Currently, the Police Department uses Glock firearms. The Police Department received quotes from 5 vendors. BCPD received 2 test and evaluation T&E handguns on June 15, 2021, direct from the manufacturer, Sig Sauer. Both firearms were present during the annual firearms qualification and were made available to all officers to evaluate. The quote from Acme was the best price and included trade-in of various models of Glock handguns. Because the trade-in value of the Glocks, City Commission approval is required in absence of a sealed bid for surplus items that exceed $10,000. This resolution seeks authorization regarding a contract to purchase 6 Sauer handguns for the City of Battle Creek Police Department from Acme Sports Incorporated in a not-to-exceed after trade-in amount of $40,625.
Vice Mayor Reynolds moves for support of Resolution 463.
Commissioner Morris supports.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 463. Are there any comments, questions, or clarifications from the Commission? Commissioner Blood.
Okay. Sir, is it okay if I ask Chief to come up?
Sure.
Thanks.
Chief Blocker, please.
Hi, Chief.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. So everything has a useful life cycle. What is the life cycle on a handgun here within our department, and why are we going about this trade-in and update?
Yeah, I like the way you asked the question, mainly because the life cycle of a firearm could be, it's indeterminable. I mean, certainly you can have a firearm for generations if you take good care of it. But I would tell you that certainly for a law enforcement agency, that 25, 30-year mark is an awfully high watermark for us to have one particular firearm, because they are transferred from one officer to another as folks come and go. And what we found, although it's an excellent platform, a very reliable platform, what we found was we were starting to have more and more malfunctions with it, which is precisely what we don't want. And so there was a 2014 study by the FBI. It really recommended that for accuracy, for weapon confidence, because we have a broad density of users, both men and males and females, with all different sorts of capacity to utilize a firearm and have confidence with it, they recommending lowering that caliber standard from the 40 caliber, which is what we have now, to the 9, with no impact really on what you need that weapon for, which is to eliminate that threat. And so we went throughout the entire process of evaluating multiple platforms to see what it was that we were looking for, with an additional a sight picture, laser integrated into the weapon system. That also increases the confidence, but it also, according to that review, introduces a pausing effect, which also supports our de-escalation requirement. Now, you have to understand that the weapon systems that we carry, we'd all love to live in a world where officers didn't have to wear vests. They certainly would on a hot day, and certainly wouldn't want to have to carry a firearm, but that's not even reality right now. Already to date, 42 officers have been killed by gunfire. Most of those have been ambushes, with as recent as 3 days ago. And so with that ongoing and continuous reality, this is a worthwhile purchase, and we certainly are supportive of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I appreciate how you set that up in the sense of not everybody has the same capability to handle a 40 versus something else. And so making sure that you make that available to all of your officers to try and make sure that they feel confident and capable, because that's one thing that people behind firearms, when they're not confident and capable and they're nervous and anxious, that's when mistakes are made. So I appreciate you thinking about that and how to limit some of those things.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Any other questions of the Chief?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Thank you, Chief. I believe we're prepared to vote on this. Would you please vote on the Resolution 463? Resolution 463 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 464. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
A solicitation was issued April 18, 2022, seeking proposals from qualified management consultants for the purpose of managing the RFP process for a new Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP, financial system. This consultant will manage the process from start to finish, providing technical guidance to identify business processes and needs, drafting the request for proposals, guiding selection and demonstrations, and advising on final software contract negotiations. This resolution seeks acceptance of the proposal of best value for ERP selection consultant from Platt Moran PLLC in a not-to-exceed amount of $400,500.
Vice Mayor Reynolds moves for the support of Resolution 464.
Commissioner Morris supports.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 464. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns from the Commission at this time? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 464? Resolution 464 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 465. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
The city has an obligation under collective bargaining agreements to provide employees and eligible dependents term life insurance and AD&D coverage. City commissioners are eligible for a similar but limited benefit. Historically, the city's coverage allowance has been capped at 1 times annual base salary for employee coverage, $2,000 for spouse, and $1,000 for child. This new agreement with Unum Insurance Company includes an increase to benefit levels to 2 times annual base salary for employee coverage, $10,000 for spouse, and $5,000 for child. This resolution seeks authorization for the city manager to enter into an agreement with Unum Insurance Company to provide group term life insurance and AD&D coverage for a 3-year period beginning January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2025 at an estimated cost of $152,454 annually with a 3-year rate guarantee.
Vice Mayor Reynolds moves for the support of Resolution 465.
Commissioner Morris to support.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 465. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns from the Commission at this time? Seeing none, would you please vote on Resolution 465? Resolution 465 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 466. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
The 110th Wing is constructing a new National Guard base main entrance with expected construction beginning in fiscal year 2022. This location is much less congested and will dramatically improve safety for the airmen and women and local citizens. Due to the relocation of the main entrance, there will be added traffic at the intersection of Skyline Drive and Hillbrady Road for citizens and adjacent industrial park users. Despite the vast improvements, the mere increase in traffic will pose some safety and functional challenges. The City of Battle Creek will construct a roundabout in order to maintain optimal existing traffic flow to the industrial park and to handle the additional traffic generated from the entrance relocation. This roundabout will greatly improve traffic safety. The city is also required to obligate sufficient funds to pay its share of costs of this MCCA in the amount of $1,111,049. This resolution seeks authorization for the city manager to enter into a master cooperative agreement with the Michigan National Guard Bureau and the state of Michigan to construct the main base entrance at Skyline Drive and Hillbrady Road.
Vice Mayor Reynolds moves for the support of Resolution 466.
Commissioner Morris supports.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 466. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns from the Commission on Resolution 466? I am not seeing any, so we'll please vote on Resolution 466. Resolution 466 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 466 added. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Johnny J. Collier, who passed away at home on February 17, 2022, was a lifelong fisherman. One of his wishes was to share his love of fishing with the youth of Battle Creek. His family reached out to the city seeking permission to teach 50 kids how to fish locally. Through memorial donations and a grant from Penetrator Events, the Collier family has purchased 15 fishing poles for a Teach a Kid to Fish event. Section 5A of Battle Creek Ordinances, Chapter 1060, Parks and Public Grounds, permits the city manager to make such rules and regulations, subject to approval by the City Commission, pertaining to conduct in and the use of parks and public grounds. Willard Beach is part of the city's park system, and there is currently a rule posted at the planned site of the Teach a Kid to Fish event, which prohibits swimming and fishing. This resolution authorizes the city manager to suspend the rule prohibiting fishing at a city-owned area of Willard Beach at the intersection of George B. Place and Shadywood Lane from 9 a.m. until 12 noon on Sunday, August 14, 2022, for the purpose of facilitating the Johnny J. Collier Teach a Kid to Fish event.
Vice Mayor Reynolds moves for the support of Resolution 467.
Commissioner Morris supports.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 467. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns from the Commission? Commissioner Blood.
Thank you, sir. I'm really excited that this is happening. It was a great thing to see on the agenda. How are kids being notified? I didn't see any of that in, and then I also didn't see, are the families going to have entry paid? Like, is it going to be open for kids to come in? I guess you're asking me to direct this way?
I'm going to ask John Hart to come up.
You were looking at him, so I was like, maybe I should just turn.
Thank you. Very good questions. I just actually posted it on the Facebook page for downtown, not announcing any location, but in hopes that this would all go the right direction. So basically, folks can head out to the downtown Facebook page for all the details. And essentially, what'll happen is you go to Smitty's Sports Shop to register. Once you register, we'll register. It's 2 poles per household. 1 pole per child, and we'll register until we don't have any more poles, and then we'll give details of where the site location is by email and let everyone know what time slot. They'll choose their time slot at Smitty's when they register. We'll then tell them the details of where to come to, and the subject location is near Willard Beach, and so we will provide them a voucher to drop the child off, go park, and then walk back down the hill to the site.
Fantastic. And just so everyone knows, since you're talking and they're watching, where is Smitty's, so they are ready to rumble tomorrow?
Yes, well, I'll have to look up the address, but it's in Urbandale, Smitty's Sports Shop, and let me look real quick.
So it's right on the corner
It's on West Michigan Avenue. It is 1408 West Michigan Avenue.
Great place to go as well.
It is.
Adults pick up your fishing license
Yes.
and fish.
That's what we're hoping, actually. We're encouraging small business development, as always. We're hoping that people will go there, shop, look, maybe get a license, maybe pick up an extra pole or so, and then come to the event on Sunday.
Terrific. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wilson.
This may be a really naive question, but why is fishing not permitted where we're having to release the space for here? Is it not permitted at all on the lake? Do we know?
It is permitted on the lake. In that particular area, it has not been permitted.
Okay.
It's an older area where people don't normally go. There's an old seawall there.
Okay.
And so, it is safe for this particular event, but probably not safe enough to do that regular, year-round or seasonal.
Okay, thank you.
Any other commission comments? Commissioner Learnmore Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to offer our condolences to the family and to thank them for thinking of us to celebrate his life in this way, was doing something he loved. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I see another hand. If not, please vote on Resolution 467. Resolution 467 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is general public comment. They're limited to 3 minutes per individual. Please allow me to read some information. If you'd like to make a comment regarding general public comment regarding matters over which the City Commission has control, please raise your hand and wait for us to acknowledge you, and then come forward to the podium. You will have 3 minutes to make your comment. Please state your name and address prior to making the comment so that we can get back to you. It is the desire of the City Commission to encourage public expression in the course of its meetings. Such expression can be integral in decision-making process of the City Commission. It is the intention of the City Commission to respect the right of persons addressing the Commission. Public comment periods are a time for citizens to make comments. They are not intended as a forum for debate or to engage in question and answer dialogues with the Commission or staff. Commissioners are encouraged not to directly respond to speakers during public comment periods. At the conclusion of the speaker's remarks, the mayor or individual commissioners may refer a question to city staff if appropriate. Also, individual commissioners may choose to respond to speakers during the commission comment period. It is with these aims in mind, so as to promote decorum and civility and orderly process for conducting its public hearings and meetings, and that the following rules concerning public comments consist with applicable law and adopted by the City Commission. Number 1, persons attending a regular or special commission meeting shall be permitted to address the City Commission in conformity with this rule. The opportunity to address the Commission shall be limited to the following. A, persons desiring to address the City Commission are encouraged but shall not be required to fill out and turn in either the city clerk, mayor, or presiding commissioner prior to the meeting a comment card disclosing the following information: the person's name, address, and telephone number, the specific issue, topic, or resolution the individual wishes to address. B, during the public hearings when scheduled, speakers may present facts and opinions on the specific matter being heard by the Commission. A 3-minute time limit is imposed by the per speaker. In the discretion of the mayor or presiding officer, the time limit for individual speakers may be lengthened or shortened when appropriate. C, during the consideration of specific ordinances when scheduled, speakers may present facts and opinions on the specific ordinance being considered by the City Commission. Speakers addressing the City Commission during this time shall limit their comments to the specific issue being considered. A 3-minute time limit, which may be lengthened or shortened by the mayor or presiding officer when appropriate, is imposed per speaker per matter considered. D, during the public comment period of the consent agenda and resolutions not on the consent agenda, each speaker may address the Commission once regarding anything on the consent agenda or resolutions not on the consent agenda for a total not to exceed 3 minutes, regardless of how many consent agenda items or regular resolutions the speaker is addressing, which time period may be lengthened or shortened by the mayor or presiding officer when appropriate. Period may be lengthened or shortened by the mayor or presiding officer when appropriate. During the general public comment portion of the meeting, speakers may address the City Commission on any matter within the control and jurisdiction of the City of Battle Creek. A speaker shall be permitted to address the City Commission once for up to 3 minutes during this portion of the meeting. 2, an individual wishing to address the City Commission shall wait to be recognized by the mayor or presiding commissioner before speaking. An individual who has not filled out a card requesting to address the City Commission will raise his hand or her hand and wait to be recognized by the mayor or presiding commissioner before speaking, and shall identify themselves by name and address, if appropriate, group affiliation for the record. Speakers shall address all remarks to the City Commission as a whole and not to the individual commissioners. Speakers shall not address their remarks to members of the public in attendance at the meeting. Number 4, A speaker will be ruled out of order by the mayor or presiding commissioner, and the commission will continue with its business when the speaker, number one, becomes repetitive or speaks longer than allotted time, B, attempts to yield any unused portion of time to other speakers, C, engages in a personal attack upon a city employee, administrator, or commissioner, only if the personal attack is totally unrelated to the manner in which the employee, administrator, or commissioner carries out his or her public duties or office. D, uses obscene or profound language. E, engages in slanderous or defamatory speech. F, uses derogatory racial, sexual, or ethnic slurs or epithets related to any individual or category or persons. And finally, engages in conduct that interrupts or disrupts the meeting. With that being said, is there any public comment? Yes, in the back, please.
Evening, Steve Koch, Washington Avenue North, since 1995. The only comments I'm going to make is I've watched this town since 1995. I've watched this commission. I've watched a lot of things going on in this town. I've seen a lot of money spent on projects that I couldn't understand why it was being spent, but apparently somebody knows more than I do, apparently, when it comes to a lot of different things in this town. I've been recently told that apparently the brand new police department we have over here has a heating issue because apparently the boiler system can't keep up with the heat. So apparently we have to spend more money to fix that problem. I've also heard that there's some other issues downtown that are not being addressed. We have homeless all over the place. We have factories that have closed up, that have gone bankrupt or disappeared, have stripped all the stainless steel out of the buildings, and the building sits empty. I have not seen one new building. I've not seen one new factory. I haven't seen anything come into this town that I am aware of that is new and upcoming. Okay, I've seen a lot of taxes being spent in a lot of different places, and it concerns me because to me, while the town may visually look like it might be doing okay, it's not growing. I go over to Jackson, which is a pretty bad town there, and they're growing like gangbusters. I go to Kalamazoo, same thing. I go to Ohio, I see the same thing. I just came back from Ohio. I see the same thing. I see new houses going up. I see new businesses going up. I see factories going up in Indiana, but I don't see it here in Battle Creek. So the only question I have for you is, are we going to stop spending the dollars that we're all paying into the collective here, quit spending it, and actually put it into something that's going to actually create jobs, it's going to create money, it's going to create revenue, it's going to create a better environment for all of us. That's all.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate your comment. Any other comments at this time? Yes, Reese.
Reese Atkins, 24 Popular. I have two different issues. Number one, here a month or so ago, there was a thing that came to the city of Battle Creek city commissioners in buying back Western Michigan University. The city at that time tabled it because they wanted more information. It was supposed to have came back up to the city 30 days later. Nothing has ever came back up on what's going on. Is the city buying the building? Is the city not buying the building? Is this building going to sit empty downtown? I'd like to know what's going on with that issue. Secondly, if you drive around the city of Battle Creek, you see an awful lot of buildings that have been redone, been revamped, got marijuana signs up all over them. Coming soon, soon opening, but they still sit vacant. Where are the applications? Why are these not being approved, and why are these buildings not being opened up for revenue for the city of Battle Creek? Because there's been an awful lot of money spent to revamp these buildings and these names put up, which are not cheap to put up onto a building, but they still to this day sit empty months later. Thank you.
Reese, I'll have someone from the city manager's office get back to on both your questions. Any other questions at this time? Yes.
My name is Jennifer McLeod, and my mailing address is 1913 Banzi Street in Kalamazoo. But I have officially resided in Battle Creek for over 20 years. My kids were raised here, graduated from high school here. And they were touching on the homeless situation. I know it's nice to see that there's more housing going in, but we need more affordable housing. I have my friend's 91-year-old grandmother living in the back seat of a car right now because the landlord sold the house out from under them while he could profit that they've been living in for almost 20 years. They cannot find housing as we speak, and this elderly woman is in the back seat of a car. It'd be really nice if we could find more emergency assistance for people who are displaced like her that need a bed to sleep in, at least to be able to lay down at night. That was my first concern. My second concern has to do with being able to exercise as citizens our First Amendment rights and to be able to handle disagreements and violent crimes in a legal and dignified manner without the threat and worry of retaliatory charges being pressed upon us. People who have clean records facing felony charges just because they've upset one too many people in the police department. I'm really concerned about that. There's a couple people right now sitting on charges that shouldn't be, and I don't know how to help them. So I'm bringing this to your attention here because I would like to see if there could be some more further conversation about this issue that's going on as we're speaking. So.
Thank you very much for your comments. I'd like to ask you to stick around after the meeting. I'll get your number so that we can get both those answers to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other public comments at this time? Yes, ma'am.
Cindy Dion, 24 Poplar. I have been very disappointed with the city of Kalamazoo in their effort to quote unquote decriminalize certain matters. I don't know how to politely say, they decriminalized public defecation, public urination. And I don't get this, and I really want to encourage this community not to even consider that. It seems like leaving messes for the average citizen to clean up that wouldn't be there if we just kept the criminal measures in place for these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Any other public comment at this time? Adam?
Hello, Adam Heikela, former Bedford Township Supervisor. And if I could ask, Mayor, could I get 5 minutes possibly? I think we're almost done with the meeting. I don't think there's going to be much longer. And
I'll give you 3 minutes, Adam. If you want to speak to me afterwards, you can speak to me there.
Well, I think it's just a lot of important information to get on the record here.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
All right. So, because that's one of the things, though, is, okay, so accountability. You guys all as a board, as local elected representatives, we lack accountability in a lot of our different agencies and our different departments. You as a board have a duty really to oversee and make sure that our police department here is being held accountable. This gal that spoke right here, what she's referring to is some issues that started back at Easter of last year. Many of you might have heard about it. You might have heard about it because since Easter of last year, there's been many, many videos that have been recorded and posted online, shared. They were purchased, actually, and shared all over on some TV shows on A&E. They're now still on YouTube at 68 shots. You can go and view these videos because it depicts a story, and it tells a story of a lack of accountability in this Battle Creek Police Department. And it's up to you as representatives of the people here to help fix this problem. Since Easter of last year, it's escalated to a PPO situation because of the number of threats and the violent actions taken by a neighbor in a property dispute. That has escalated now to a violent attack that just happened 2 weeks ago. That violent attack happened when the PPO perpetrator actually attacked the victim while he's violating the PPO. Now, since that time, no charges have been brought against that violator because the Battle Creek Police have been on record multiple times telling the victim that has the PPO against this gentleman that he is the problem. So think of that. Tell me which one of you that would have someone, maybe a daughter or someone that's been harmed, is a victim, and you are being told by the police, no, that your daughter was the problem. That's the situation ultimately that we have here, because the evidence is all there. But we have a situation where we have politics, we have a fascist state that we live in, because we have the police that is working for political powers. You all need to step up. It's your duty. You have a storm upon this community that you all are going to be in charge of and fall on your shoulders. I suggest that you go to 68 Shots YouTube and watch those videos. Speak with me and Shots and anyone else that has information to
Adam,
help.
your time is done. Thank you. Is there any other public comment at this time? Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Elizabeth Prentice, 168 Post Avenue. I'm respectfully asking for everybody's help. We have a house at 162 Post Avenue, and I've spoken to many people about that. There's animals running loose, trash, hoarding, public urinating, drug use, child neglect, a high person with a firearm, wild animals because of the trash. We have skunks, possums, raccoons, and I'm concerned probably roaches too around the neighborhood. Last night we called an officer and reported the public urination. We have videos, pictures, if anyone's interested in seeing them. I'm wondering if there's anything we could do as far as getting ideas from Kalamazoo on how they deal with hoarding and trash. I'm asking for your help and help with the city attorney as well.
Thank you very much. I'll make sure someone gets back to you from the city attorney, city manager's office. Is there any other public comment at this time? Yes, ma'am.
Long time no see for some of you. So I live at 202 South Avenue. My name's Michelle. But I just wanted to speak on the homelessness issue because I live really close to where most of them congregate. And a few years ago, I remember speaking to one city commissioner after a meeting saying that this raising of taxes will be detrimental to the poorest in our community. And I was laughed and mocked. And I hope you know that if this person decides to run for that seat again, I will let the public know. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Is there any other comment at this time? Yes, John Kennefick.
John Kennefick, 234 South Avenue. On July 5th, there were 6 applicants to apply for the position at the large position of City Commissioner. And during that time, an applicant here was Lynn Ward Gray, and I recorded a conversation. It was on AccessVision, a question asked by the Ward 2 Commissioner Morris, and this is what she said to Commissioner Gray at 53 minutes 35 seconds into the meeting. This commission has been called progressive. I think that's the way many people describe this commission. So I'm wondering, how do you think that your past experiences will help you in seeing how to be progressive on this commission? So I brought up a number of questions, so I'm going to ask these questions. Mark Binky, are you a progressive mayor? Christian Blood, are you a progressive Ward 1 commissioner? Bonica Herring, are you a progressive commissioner? Genasia Morris, are you a progressive commissioner? Carla Reynolds, are you a progressive commissioner? Sherry Sophia, are you a progressive commissioner? Kathy Zenda Wilson, are you a progressive commissioner? Many words mean all kinds of things, and between the 50s and 60s, there was a dispute between the United States and the Soviet Union. There were two different philosophies economically. One was capitalism on the United States side, one was communism on the Soviet Union side. So people that believed in Karl Marx's philosophy were in the United States, citizens of the United States, and they believed in Karl Marx's manifesto. But they were taking a lot of flack for that, and apparently they weren't looked or frowned on, so they called themselves progressives. Now, I asked myself a question: what's the difference between this progressive commission and the progressiveness of the people that were here in the 50s and 60s? They were something else than what they called themselves. A couple other minor things. I was listening very carefully to Lynn Ward Gray's presentation. It was very impressive, except for the fact that I never heard one word saying anything that had to do with creating wealth by herself in the community. That's working in the private sector. It's the private sector that makes the economy go, not nonprofits, with the exception of the Salvation Army and thrift stores. So that was one question, or one observation I had. I also observed that a number of people on the commission, for example, Mr. Lance is getting money from the public treasury. Morris is getting money from a different public treasury. We got two people that are getting money from nonprofits on the American Rescue Plan. Makes me kind of wonder what's going on up there.
Thank you, John, for your comments. Are there any other public comments at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to our agenda, and I believe the last item on our agenda is commission comments. Are there any commission comments tonight? Hearing none, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much for attending.